Why, hello there everyone! Welcome back to English with Catherine. Today we have a royal special. As you can probably see, I'm wearing a tiara, one of my favourite things in the world, and very classic earrings. This is definitely a special video that I've been planning for quite a while now. For a long time I've wanted to do a video about received pronunciation. And this video, Royal Accent Secrets, is a perfect way to do that. Now this video is just a bit of fun. Good for your study of British culture, but also for your study of accents. What's the plan? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you about the history of the received pronunciation accent. Then I'm going to tell you the secrets of how you can sound like this. And thirdly, I'm going to read out some funny sentences with my best attempt at the RP accent. Let's see how it goes. Imagine that you're also wearing a crown or a tiara, just like me. I want you to go deep into your imagination. Enjoy the video. The history of the RP accent. Now, if I was saying history with the RP accent, I would say history. History. Anyone who has heard the Queen, or the late Queen, talk in her speeches or on television or in an interview can tell that she's speaking with a specific accent. This accent has become very distinct over the years. And this is RP. The way the Queen speaks or spoke is RP, received pronunciation. Now, last year, the Queen passed away, sadly. So now we have King Charles, who, you guessed it, also speaks with the RP accent. Maybe even more so. Now, if you want to say Charles in a very RP accent, don't pronounce the R and just elongate the A. So, Charles. Charles. Now, you'd think that the RP accent has always existed since English was even a thing. But no. In Shakespeare's time, the RP accent didn't even exist. It didn't exist until the 16th century. So what happened? So the RP accent is closely linked with the royal family, the British establishment and the BBC. And what happened was, back in the 16th century, the southeast of England and the area around the capital, London, considered their way of speaking to be superior. By the end of the 18th century, the accent spoken by the upper classes was considered the accent to imitate or to copy, if you wanted to appear cultured or educated, of course. And as social prestige grew, which means it was important which social class you were in, this meant that the received pronunciation accent grew as well. And actually it was spoken a lot by the middle classes, who were kind of up and coming, rising through the classes, going up, and they wanted to have an accent that would not be judged by people above them. So lessons in correct pronunciation, which we call elocution, became more popular. So lots of people started to get classes on how to speak properly. And what was this accent? Well, basically the opposite to the Cockney accent in London, which was considered to be the lower class accent back then, not now. So for example, in the Cockney accent, they drop the H. So instead of happy, they say appy. That was a feature of the Cockney accent. So the RP accent, as it was developing, they decided to really have a strong H so that they sounded completely different to the Cockney. Please watch My Fair Lady, the film, because it will give a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So as this accent evolved and developed, it became the voice of English worldwide. It was the preferred pronunciation in public schools. And here's the important part. The people who went to the public schools, the missionaries, the diplomats, the civil servants and the military officers, took the accent around the globe during the formation of the British Empire. So for most of the 20th century, it became the most prestigious accent of Britain. It was valued for its associations with the World War years and the royal family. But in the later decades of the 20th century, a big change happened. Big waves of immigration happened. The massive increase in local radio stations, not just the BBC. And this led to more diversity. Nowadays, British accents that are considered educated or cultured do still exist, but they're much more flexible and varied than they used to be. Modern RP, or modern received pronunciation, which is the accent that I speak with, is now very widely spoken, or it's sometimes called General British. This is spoken in the south of England, and of course you've got the regional accents in the north and all over the UK, which are of course considered British accents as well. And it's worth telling you that traditional RP was never even spoken by more than 5% of the population, and it's now dropped to just 2% of the population. But whether you say bath or bath or happy or appy, you will be welcome in the UK, so don't worry. It's just fun to learn about. So after that little history lesson, let's move on to the secrets. So I want you to put your crown on and imagine you are part of the royal family and try to practice these sounds and try and sound as authentic as you can. Secret number 1. The short A sound in modern RP turns into an eh sound. So a short E. So a turns into eh. Let me show you what I mean. We have the short A in thank you in the modern RP accent and in many other accents in the UK, but in RP it changes to thank you, thank you, thank you so much. The word angry, which actually sounds quite strong in the modern RP accent because it's angry, angry, turns into angry, angry. I'm very angry. It's actually impossible to sound angry when you say it like that. And let's hear them both in a sentence. Thank you, I feel much less angry. Something the Queen actually said, or should I say actually said. So after hearing the Everly brothers perform in the 60s, the Queen turned to her lady-in-waiting and said this: "They sound like two cats being strangled." I admire her honesty. That is so funny. Fair enough. So the word have becomes have and am becomes am. So try to practice that sound just for fun. Secret number 2. The long E sound turns into eh. So we have E to eh. So again we have this eh sound that came in secret number 1. This is more for the endings of words that end with, for example, ly. For example, quickly in modern RP, it's quickly. In RP, it's quickly. 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 Sorry becomes sorry. Sorry. Quickly, quickly, Margaret. Sorry, sorry. You can probably hear that it's more soft. If I was saying that modern RP is quite soft, well, this is so soft you can't even really hear it. It's just so soft. It's like, sorry, sorry. I guess the overall point of it is to sound more polite, isn't it? It's supposed to be like the most polite, civilized, elegant way to speak. But I'm really not sure how you're supposed to sound genuinely angry or angry in this accent. Pretty difficult. So here's another direct quote from the Queen herself. During a state visit back in the day, when an escort commander was blocking the view of the royal carriage so the crowd couldn't see the Queen, she said, "Actually, Captain, actually, Captain, I think it's me they've come to see." Fair enough, Queen. I mean, they have come to see you, not the escort commander. Another wonderful piece of honesty. So the funny part of it is, she's speaking with this incredibly polite, elegant accent, and yet she's actually being kind of rude, a little bit sarcastic. I love it. Secret number 3. Take away the W. Now, I'm not sure of the evolution of the W sound in the modern RP accent. I might research it after this video. But in the RP accent, it is very much absent. It is not there. Now keep watching the video, because in a second I'm actually going to show you how my granny spoke, because she spoke with RP accent. So I'm going to show you how she used the lack of W in her accent. But basically, shower becomes sha, power becomes pa, flower becomes fla. Lovely flowers. I remember my granny saying that. Lovely flowers, aren't they? So that's the W sound when it's actually inside a word. But when a word starts with a W, I'm going to show you what my granny said. A direct quote from my granny. "I need a fresh white towel so I can use my new power shower." I remember when she got a new power shower, or power shower, she was just used to having baths, so having a shower was a big novelty for her. You'll notice the pronunciation of W at the start of the word here is almost blown out. It's like white, white. It's so epic. So now we would say white, white, which is still fine, but it's not as pretty, is it? It almost sounds like snow falling. White, white. Now everyone, after this video, I feel like you should watch some films to hear this accent in action. Here are some suggestions. Casablanca. Bridget Jones is a great one. Bridget Jones is a funny one because I think Renee Zellweger, when she was given the task to have a British accent in the film, I think it was actually easier for her to learn the RP accent rather than the modern RP. So for some reason in the film, she just sounds incredibly posh. Like she sounds like she's talking in the Queen's English, which is great. But yeah, watch that film, especially the first one, and you can hear the RP accent spoken by her. There's also the reality TV series called Made in Chelsea, which is set in Chelsea in London, and I'm pretty sure you can still stream that somewhere online. Of course, there's My Fair Lady, which is an absolute classic and really shows you how important accent used to be. And finally, one of my favourite films of all time, 4 Weddings and a Funeral. You can definitely hear the RP accent being spoken by Hugh Grant in that film. Now, as promised, I'm going to read out some posh, I don't like that word, but RP phrases or sentences that you can just laugh at me trying to do them, because they're quite fun to do. Oh, pass me those binoculars so I can have a good look at that hooded warbler. She has a marvellous chin. You're jolly well going to write your thank you letters whether you like it or not. Do I think he's handsome? Rather. Darling, please stop being beastly to your sister. I'm afraid I divorced him because he turned out to be terribly dull. There's no need to fly into a bait just because I confiscated your horse. It's been yonks since I wore my tiara. I've been drinking since lunchtime. I know it's a shame, but you may have to sell one of your castles. Golly, is that your yacht? I have to go and watch Archie play rugger on Saturday. I saw the most ravishing girl. Please don't sit me next to that Duke at dinner. He's the most frightful bore. Come over for supper on Wednesday. We can drink gin and get absolutely blotto. Oh, bad luck, bad luck, bad luck, darling. Oh, bad luck, old bean, bad luck. Right, I'm back. Back to regular Catherine speaking in the modern RP accent, not RP. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. Mine was so wonderful. New Year's Eve is just around the corner, so I'll wish you a happy new year right now to you and all of your family. Click subscribe if you'd be so lovely, because that would be so amazing. I've got lots of really cool stuff planned for the new year, lots of ideas to show you, lots of pronunciation videos actually. I'm really looking forward to seeing you next Friday when it will be a new year. Have a lovely time. Bye.